Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Got some news involving China and China protecting its foreign assets. I wonder why. So, with all this Ukraine crisis, Russian states assets were also froze. There were about I don't want to say the number here because I'm not certain how much it was. I think it was 800 and some billions that were frozen in uh, foreign accounts, and that was frozen by the free market people, free world. When they don't like you, they freeze you. So be careful what you say and what you do. Me? Yeah, okay. Too small. Small. So it happened the same with Iran. It happened with North Korea. It happened with whomever. It happened with Afghanistan. When these guys don't like you, a contract is not a contract anymore. Remember when they were crying about Russia asking to be paid in rubles for their gas and oil deliveries in Europe? And you have the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and then the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, saying that, oh, no, 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 a contract is a contract. You can't do that. How about freezing someone's assets that are in some banks in the free world? Unbelievable. So Chinese are fast to learn. They're smart people. They have a very, very, very good civilization, long, 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 and very deep. So they don't need a few examples to learn what they're supposed to do. So here you go from the Insider from May 1st, 2022. This is the title by Sam Tabahriti. China, I'm assuming Samuel Tabahriti. China is working to protect its overseas assets amid fears that U.S. could impose Russia-style sanctions. Why? They wouldn't do that. I mean, a contract is a contract. So that means the Chinese are not going to reverse or change course from the course they're going right now, not condemning Russia and providing support, kind of economic support to Russia. That means they're all the way in it. So if they do this, that means they're waiting for something. Maybe it could be Taiwan. I don't know, but nevertheless, let's go and see what exactly we talk about here. So Chinese officials are meeting with banks to figure out ways to protect overseas assets. The country is said to be concerned the U.S. could impose sanctions similar to those on Russia. Really? Only now? China is said to hold around 3.2 trillion in foreign reserves. Wow. So it was the Russian reserves. Half of them, I think, there were, as I said, 800 and some billion dollars in foreign banks and so on. China is reportedly taking steps to protect its overseas assets amid fears the country could one day be subjected to sanctions similar to those imposed on Russia. That means the partners are not reliable. If they can freeze whenever they want, you have less confidence that your assets are as they are. Like how it used to be with the Swiss banks. If you had in Swiss bank something that was confidential, nobody could touch it. Nobody would know anything about your account. Never did divulge to anybody. Things change. Things changed. So here we go. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has provided tough lessons for China, which is itself involved in a long-running dispute with Taiwan. China has long rejected its neighbors' claims of sovereignty, fueling speculation it will one day invade and annex Taiwan entirely. Well, China claims that Taiwan is part of their mainland, so how can they invade their territory? It's a contradiction. That's what the Chinese said, and it was very logical, I guess. The foreign minister, Wang Wei, something like that. The U.S. and other Western nations have imposed sanctions against Russia in a bid to stop Putin's war in Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. Sanctions include a swift ban, a full blocking on large Russian financial institutions, measures targeting Russian sovereign debt, that's the one, and even sanctions against oligarchs and their families. That is, you find this kind of punishment, collective punishment, you know what? Yeah, in the scriptures. Yes, that's where you find collective punishment. So I don't only charge you, if for your crime, I'm going to charge your family and your, offspring and so on. Until the seventh generation, if I remember correct. Come on, help me now. We didn't have that in our civilization. They comes from a different. Don't give me the Judeo-Christian civilization. Okay. All right. But hey, we can disagree, right? We can disagree. So, according to the Financial Times, Chinese officials recently held an emergency meeting with domestic and foreign banks to discuss how the state might protect its assets should it even face similar penalties. All right, so let's see. One source told the newspaper, if China attacks Taiwan, one source. Yeah, I love when they don't give names. I love it. If China attacks Taiwan, decoupling of the Chinese and Western economies will be far more severe than decoupling with Russian, because China's economic footprint touches every part of the world. China and Russia are working on a homegrown alternative to the SWIFT payment system, Russia's system for transfer of financial messages, and China's cross-border interbank payment system. That's where some dollars going to be lost. According to the South China Morning Post, China has $3.2 trillion in foreign reserves. Let me see. It says where it has the securities and banks and assets. Okay, they are watching with great interest to see how effective sanctions applied to Russia might be effectively applied to China. No, really. Yeah. If there is an invasion of Taiwan, it's not really Taiwan. It's the new bloc, I guess. But if there's any invasion in Taiwan, China would expect the U.S. to summon as broad a range of sanctions as possible. Yeah, so this is it. The Chinese are not idiots, obviously, and they see that their days are numbered, and I think they're just doing this not because of Taiwan necessarily. Yeah, that Taiwan could be, and probably is, one of the reasons, but the way I see things, the U.S. Starts threatening India, threatens China with sanctions if they don't fall in line and things like this. What are these guys supposed to do? Fall in line or try to break away? What are the options you have? And China is too strong financially, and I'm talking about financially. They produce most goods in this world, and besides, the Chinese society could take a depression much easier than the Western countries can take, the societies in Western countries. I remember when I spoke with someone, it's a joke, okay? Don't take it personal or anything. I spoke with an historian one day, and he said, a professor at university, and he said, talking about the Vietnam War, and the professor, PhD guy, he said, laughing, he said, we, United States, lost the war. It was a joke because we didn't have Coca-Cola over there in Vietnam. And air conditioning. Okay, well, at that time I was like, ha, 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 yeah. But with time I learned that, certain societies are used to a certain standard of living. And it's hard from that standard to go to this standard of a war, of, having insufficient food, or being cold, being wet, being dirty, being so on. And then the other ones who live here, for them is just one step there. So it's easier. This is much smaller distance of discomfort than from these guys. So I guess for the Chinese, if they just say, okay, you want an embargo on us, we're going to do an embargo on you. And I think that the embargo they will place on the Westerns will be much harsher than they will feel it. That's my assessment based on the societies I studied and my personal experience. So that's my assessment of this. And I think I'm 99% certain about that. 1% I'm not. But it doesn't mean the 1% cannot change the whole 99. But according to the information, knowledge that I accumulated, it's dangerous. Well, whatever. So the Chinese are doing what they know best, which means using their brains, and they will act. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you in a moment. I got some more regarding Sweden.